Okay, so I've got my building shell done. And I want to put some doors and windows in. As you can see in the notes here, I've got this example. I'm just going to follow that very roughly. So I'll start in the level 1 floor plan. Clicking on the door tool, you're going to go to load family. And then double click on the doors to open that folder. And I'm going to choose any of these doors that have Oz for Australia in brackets. Like you can see this one does. Sliding door 4 panel is actually a good one for the balcony, or sliding door 3 panel. They're both Australian doors. So I'll start with one of those. Clicking open. And there's a bit of a trick. When you're placing doors or windows, if it's an exterior door or window especially, try to keep your cursor closer to the outside of the building, and it tends to put it in the right way. So there, if you look closely, you can see as I go from the inside to the outside that it's flipping the way the door goes. So I'm just taking my cursor to the outside edge of the wall before I click to place that. Now, it's not a golden rule or anything that you can follow every time, because I've, again, just clicked Load Family to go to the Doors folder again. And this time I'm going to choose one of the single leaf doors. So I'm going to choose single timber frame Oz. Double click. And like I said, it's not a golden rule that you can follow, because some doors need to open inwards or outwards. So not all doors that open out onto the street, or take you out of a building, open in the same way. Sometimes they do open out, but in many cases they open inwards. So, like I said, you don't always want to have your cursor closer to the outside of the wall, but for many things it will help you. So I'll place a door there, and you can see that using the arrows, I can always flip that afterwards. So the up and down arrow obviously flips it up and down, and then the left and right arrow will flip left and right, or change the handedness of the door. Oh, okay, that's all right. I'll come over and have a look in a second. It's all right.
So do you have to go into load family every time, or can you go back into
Only, yeah, no, that's right. That's a good point, actually. So that's only if you need to load a new one, and then they'll all come up in that list. If you click on the top of the properties palette there, then you'll see a list of all of the previously loaded doors.
So how do I then select that?
Just click on the size. So all the doors will have a lot of sizes. So unlike AutoCAD, you'll have often half a dozen sizes for a particular family. So you just need to choose the size of that door that you want. So this, even this single timber frame door has a few different sizes. And if I go and choose Load Family again, and back to doors, I'll get the double, I'll go for the double flush. And so it's got even more, oh no, I thought it might have more sizes. It's got about the same number of sizes as the other one. So you can see there, that's a fairly small one. And I can change that to the large one. You'll see the difference straight away. Ah, sorry, that hasn't changed. That's better. Okay, so you can see that is much larger. Okay, so I've just put some doors in, which I'll show you in a 3D view. And if you can put doors in, you can put windows in. So you've got the window button next to the door button. And then again, Load Family. Double click on the Windows folder. Okay, so you've got all these basic windows to choose from. There are lots more than this, but this is... No, whatever you think looks good. So I'm just going to choose something interesting. I'll go for the double hung 3 light. Okay, so Sash Window is another name for this. And so if you get a list of sizes like this, you can either just choose one, or you can click and drag if you want to get a few. Don't worry if it doesn't come up for everything, it only comes up for some things. So I'm just going to choose one. I don't need to have all of those sizes, so one is enough for me. And then I'm simply going to click. But this time, that trick I mentioned of keeping the cursor closer to the outside is going to make a difference. Okay, because again, think about windows as opposed to doors. Doors, like I said, sometimes they'll open in, sometimes they'll open out. What about windows? Do you think they'd ever open out? Oh yeah, they can. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But they're all no, they're awning windows. They should be okay. But see, awning windows, I know they've got a bad name because they leak. Well, no, the main problem is they were never designed to be used in a normal wall. Awning windows are called awning windows because they're designed to be used in an awning, an area that's got a roof over it. That's the point of them. So yeah, they were never meant to be waterproof. And that's why you have double hung like sash windows and sliding windows made in a different way, because they keep the water out. If they don't have a roof over them, they can still do a pretty good job. But those awning windows were never meant to be used in that situation. But yeah, I know they use them all the time now in different places that they shouldn't be. So it's good to think about that. But then it's always going to open that way. So you would never change the direction that a window opens. It's always going to open the same way. It's made to operate only in one direction. So with a window, that rule of thumb I mentioned is basically a rule you should follow every time. Keep your cursor closer to the outside instead of the inside. And it makes a difference because Revit, even though it knows which is the outside, it gives you a bit of maybe freedom here that you shouldn't have. I think it should just force you to do it the right way, but it doesn't. So they let you choose, and you need to get it right. And you can tell in another way. Notice how this little flipping arrow is on the outside of the building? That's where it should be. So I'll put a window in the wrong way, and I can tell straight away, if I come back and select it, it's the wrong way from that arrow. So that should be outside. And you won't even notice in a plan view, but in a 3D view, let's just have a look at it and I'll show you. You'll see why. Okay, so you all know what a sash window is, hopefully, or double hung. So this is a sash or a double hung window. We've got the sash at the bottom here, and then another sash at the top.
What's a sash?
The bit that holds the glass. So the timber frame going around the glass that moves. So the sash is the off-wall part, the bit that slides up and down. And so, well, I'll be a bit tricky. Okay, so is that the right way? No. Exactly. That's right. So here, the sash that's on the outside is at the bottom. And that means if it rains, the water is going to go into here and go inside, which is no good. So it's the wrong way. The bottom sash should always be on the inside. And I can select it, press space. We know that flips. So now we've got the upper sash on the outside, which is waterproofing the building, protecting it, because the water can't get in here. That's glass at that joint. It can't go in here unless it can go up, which it can actually with cavitation, but you don't need to worry about that. So that's good enough. That's pretty much waterproof.
So you want the arrow on the inside?
Outside. Yeah. Okay, so that's how you place windows. Now, I've been showing you that you can place these things in plan view, and that's good, but then you might see that you'll have issues like this that you don't notice in the plan. Notice how this window actually goes up and cuts into my next story. All right, so you can place things in 3D as well. So I thought I should quickly show you that. If I click on the door tool, not a problem because Revit can pick up my levels and I can either place it on the ground floor or I can place it on the first floor. So notice how it locks to those levels when you're using a door. But do you think it'll do that with a window? With the window tool? No, it won't. Because you can place windows at different heights. Doors are always going to be at the height of your floor. Because when you're walking through your building, you don't want to be stepping up to doors and other things that you walk through. Well, there's a standard height, but there's no fixed measurement for windows. No. So often you'll have them at 900 or 1200. if you're working with your brick courses. But then 1100 is used quite a lot. Here, what do you think that sill height would be? Over there, this window. Yeah. Yeah, it's about that. It's a bit less, yeah, but not far off actually. So it's about 1100, 1150, something like that. So it does vary. And lower level windows can be lower because you don't have to worry about people falling out and killing themselves. But as you go up higher, they need to be at least a metre from the floor. And did you hear about that sad story, the guy in QVB? Oh, it's really sad. Young guy was just being an idiot. Yeah, sliding down the stairs. And they had the old stairs with the low balustrade. And he died. Yeah. In the QVB. Oh, a young boy was sliding down the stairs and died because he fell over the balustrade and it was less than a metre on the balustrade. And so you'll see in there they've gone and put a new layer on the inside which is at the required height, which is a metre. And now they're even going to 1100 quite often. You'll see a lot of the new ones, they go a bit higher because even a metre is a little bit low. But the old ones were down to 800 and things like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Low enough that I can very comfortably sit on the edge of the dresser when the windows
Yeah.
are massive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I know, I've seen it. Yeah. It's really dangerous. Yeah.
like you wouldn't have drug
Yeah.
at my window.
Yeah. Looks like, well, you just got to be careful. But yeah.
Sitting on the windowsill,
Yep.
because that's like it's where all the seats are.
Well, you've seen that Sex and the City episode. That's based on a true story as well. It's happened quite a few times in New York because they don't have the same controls we do, and they have windows like that everywhere. And with 20-story buildings, you've got everywhere there. Yeah, it's scary. So yeah, I'm really conscious of that because I've been on a lot of construction sites where you see these things happen all the time as well. So yeah, so again, lower level windows, not such a problem. You can have, and look, low sills are nice. It's a really nice design feature. So I do it where I can, but again, on upper level windows, at least a metre. You can go a bit lower according to the code, but otherwise a metre. Oh, yep, sure, I'll just be a sec. Yep. So anyhow, that's just the basics for bringing in doors and windows. Have a go at putting them in plan and also 3D views. And the sill height? Yeah, that's right, that's the height from the floor. Yeah. So the sill is the bottom of the window? Yep. A metre is the minimum for upper level floors?
Which is the same as balustrade.
Yeah. Yeah. But then for lower level floors, yeah, you can do whatever you like. Yeah. Okay, so that should be enough. I'll maybe just very quickly for the people watching the videos who aren't in class, show you that if you click on the component tool, go to load family, and then go to furniture, and then seating maybe, you can try to load in one of the furniture pieces just by clicking to place something in the interior, and space will flip or give you options as you place those things. So that's plenty, I think, for the model, and then we're just going to look at the sheets.